so you can get to know where, so you can get to know me. Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top, and I'm gon' shine on me. Yeah, go ahead and MVP. I'm Raps MVP. I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. Whoa, from the beginning to the end. Losers lose, winners win. This is real, we ain't got to pretend. The cold world that we in is full of pressure and pain. Nigga, now listen to the game. Used to see 5-0, throw the crack by the bench. Now I'm fucking with 5-0, it's all starting to make sense. My mom's happy she ain't gotta pay the rent, and she got a red bow on that brand new Benz. Waiting on shot money to lane, sitting in the rain, thinking how they spent $30 million on airplanes. When this kid's starving, pack is gone and Brenda's still throwing babies in the garbage. I wanna know what's going on like I hear Marvin. No school books, they use that wood to build coffins. Whenever I'm in the booth and I get exhausted, I think what if Marie Baker got that abortion? I love you, man. Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top, and I'm gon' shine on me. Go ahead MVP. I'm Raps MVP. I ain't gon' nowhere, so you can get to know it, so you can get to know me. Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top, and I'm gon' shine on me. Go ahead MVP. I'm Raps MVP. I ain't gon' nowhere, so you can get to know me. I started out at 15, scared as hell. I took 30 off a pad, made them sales as a youth. Man, I used to venture for loot, put them boot blues through, and my group of fed glow, serpent using diva, out in the niche. I'm a whipper wish and found my peace, and the vibes on right, on the ground. Been a burst for the petty, so forget the West. Hate it or love it, I'm gon' shine on me. Go ahead and be me. I'm Raps MVP. I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical Dutches in your bushes, who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club sipping my wet is where you'll find me. The back of the club macking hoes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, blunt passing, music blasting, but I just can't quit, because one of these honeys Biggie gotta creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got caught. Now check it, I got more Max than Craig, and in the bed, believe me sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy, no need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benz and C-No's by the last, true to life players. Jump in a Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in a GS3. I got the honey's by the tree. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honey's getting money, playing fellas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. If you gotta get up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Why? Cause I see some ladies tonight that shouldn't be having my baby. Baby, straight up.
Hello.
We went live early there.
Yeah, we're just ripping it, dude. It's time. It's time to go.
You got to give me the heads up there. I was waiting for the hook. Welcome back here to another Friday Stack Sat giveaway with 21 Rates and BitcoinNews.com. We have a special guest, Kevin, over at Cadena. So welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Avi. Great to be here.
This is our third edition. I was gone last week, but Rob, you were holding it down, and I'm smiling right now, but not a lot of people are looking at the markets. So I know Bitcoin, I think it tapped 80, and it's gone up a little bit recently. So maybe they heard about this live show, and we're gonna get going. But Rob, welcome. Well, how are you feeling today, man?
You know, it's always weird when you wake up and Bitcoin has a Omega candle, but the Omega candle is red. But at the end of the day, the thesis has not changed, right? I mean, they are going to print an infinite amount of dollars because that is their one weapon. And our one weapon to protect ourselves is Bitcoin, an asset with a fixed supply. And it is, and there's no counterparty risk, right? This thing is outside of the financial system, as much as they tried to wrap it up in the financial system this last year with treasury companies and ETFs. And because of that, we can see some harsh liquidations and sales. But at the end of the day, if you've got Bitcoin in cold storage, you are in power. Those keys are yours. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. And if you have been in here for a little while, then you're happy on days like today because it means you can acquire more sats and grow your stack. As you will today with a 210,000 sat giveaway.
That's right. And we have Kevin from Cadena as our guest. So Kevin, quickly introduce yourself, what you do. You live an amazing life down by the beach, so very jealous. And then we'll explain the giveaway a little bit better for those that are new, because I'm sure half of the people listening are new.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the show. So a bit about Cadena. We build Bitcoin native financial services for growing the Bitcoin economy. Everything we do is directly on the Bitcoin blockchain, and not your keys, not your coins, is kind of a motto. So our users always maintain custody of their coins. And what we've done is we built a marketplace where lenders can earn fixed fiat yield and borrowers can leverage their Bitcoin exposure. And by matching borrowers and lenders directly in this marketplace, we're able to eliminate a lot of middlemen and, most importantly, a lot of counterparty risk for our clients.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, what's your background? You were just real quick, and then we'll get into the fun stuff.
Most of my life, foreign exchange sales and trading, and so I'll get into that a little bit as we get through the show. And then more recently, I owned mortgage brokerage for about the last 5 years, and then moved to Costa Rica and discovered Bitcoin when I looked back at the matrix and realized there were some pretty crazy things going on.
Pura vida. We talked about that before, but I had lived in Costa Rica for 4 months, and very jealous that you get to live there long term. So for those,
it's amazing. We can just do things now.
Yeah, right.
Take the show on the road.
You have a wife and kids, and then you're kind of stuck, somewhat. But for those that are new, want to go through the show, the run of the show, how this works. Today we're doing something a little fun. Usually we go through the news, break it down. It's been pretty ugly out there. You guys see the headlines. So we're going to do something fun and building out almost like a fantasy football draft, but making a Mount Rushmore of the biggest Bitcoin or crypto failures. And so Kevin, we're going to let you go first with the pick once we get going, but we'll start out doing that. And then at the end, Kevin's going to talk a little bit about his business. We're going to have the sponsors go through and explain a little bit what they do, but we're bringing it back to the people. And so we're going to be giving away 210,000 sats, which is about a little under $200 of dirty fiat money today. So very excited about that. And the way to do that, you go to 21rates.com and then backslash it is stack. Sorry. So 21rates.com backslash stack, and you'll be getting it. I see Ryan's excited about that in the crowd. So give him some love out there. But before we get started, Rob, Kevin, anything you guys want to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, one piece of news, everybody's trying to figure out like why is this happening? You know, like why is it going down? So it turns out that of course 1010 was the big blow up, but a piece of news that happened on that day that was not really uncovered until recently this week was that MSCI, they create a lot of these indexes. They're just as big as Standard and Poor's, and they make different indexes that people can passively invest in the stock market. They included strategy a while ago into their index. They were the first index to include strategy, and they put out a report saying, hey, we might change who we allow into our index. Any fund, any business that has more than 50% of their assets in a digital asset, such as strategy, might no longer qualify because we look at them as a fund rather than a company, right? So they are going to make their decision in January as to whether they are allowing strategy to stay in their index or not. And so that leaves a lot of questions up in the air. That original report came out on 1010 the same day there was that flash liquidation, and since then it's just been pretty much straight down. So that gives a little clarity as to maybe why this is all happening right now when everything does seem so lined up for this golden bull run that we thought we would have in Q4. But nonetheless, as we were saying, Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, and blowups have happened throughout the 16-year history of this asset, and yet we are still here, stronger than ever. The network is stronger. We've got 1 zettahash plus of hash rate going, and that keeps growing, and price will follow hash rate because this is a network. This is growing like a living being, and nothing is stopping the Bitcoin train. But it's fun to look back on all of the blowups that we've had in the past, and that is what we're doing today. We're compiling a list. We're making a competition. Who has the best draft picks of the biggest blowups in crypto, in Bitcoin. And yeah, should we jump right into it?
Yeah. And next week's going to be Thanksgiving. So I think we'll probably be taking the week off. But the week after, we do have a beautiful outline that's going to be looking very fancy. So we were trying to get that going today, but we'll blame CrowdStrike, or not CrowdStrike, but we usually can. Cloudflare is the one that we wanted to place the blame on today. So yeah, well, let's play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors, because we're going to let Kevin go first. But Rob, we have to go to see who's going second.
You ready?
So best of one.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, right? We show on shoot, right?
Yeah, okay. I'm from the Midwest. We used to play duck, duck, gray duck, so I don't know how that goes. But yeah, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
This is one of the first rock, paper, scissors, shoot live on Twitter, by the way.
Let's go, dude. Come on. Rock, paper, scissors. Shoot.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You had the delay. I thought you saw mine. All right, last one here. Rock,
paper, scissors,
shoot. Are you delayed here? Because
let's just go. Right. You got it. I'll go third.
I'll go third. I'll go third.
You'll go third? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll take second. Yeah, then we got an order. Kevin first, then me, then Avi.
Yeah.
All right. So I get to go first. And the one thing I need to say kind of right off the gate is, real people lost real money in a lot of these instances. And, we're trying to have fun here. We're laughing. We're, trying to make education of this. So there's some important lessons about counterparty risk, but, please take this for the good-hearted fun that it is. And so since I get to go first, I think the list is bigger than this. But
we can add to the list, of course.
I'm going to start with, and so my business is a borrowing and lending business. We are a non-custodial lender. We never have custody of our clients' coins, but I'm going to go with Celsius. That seems to be the granddaddy of custodial lenders. And it seems like they got involved in, I guess, some shady practices, risky investments, non-segregation of assets. And I'll stop there. But when I go through this whole list and everything, related to the risks for me of Bitcoin, it all has to do with centralization. And I think the price action we're seeing today, for the last month and a half, it's interesting to me that it's straight down. It feels like somebody's being unwound from something. And I'm interested to find out who it is. And by having keys in self-custody, you can avoid all this nonsense. So first pick Celsius, just because it was in the billions of dollars.
Yeah, Mashinsky was quite the villain, right? I mean, it's crazy how, especially in the 2021 cycle, all of these frauds were so blatant in the way that they acted in the media, the way they personified themselves, and were just big, like nothing bad could ever happen. This was bulletproof. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And I mean, for a time, of course, it worked. It looked like it was unbeatable, but then it all blows up. Oh wow, nice. Like this. This is awesome. Okay, cool. So with Celsius off the board, I will go next, and I gotta go. Mount Gox. I can't believe Mount Gox is available right now. I mean, this is the granddaddy one
with the second pick.
with the second pick, Mount Gox. Yeah, I mean, this was 2014, right? Bitcoin was really still in its infancy in many ways. This was the one exchange that people from around the world were able to participate in buying Bitcoin. And 850,000 Bitcoin went missing abruptly, right? 7% of all the Bitcoin, worth roughly $473 million at the time. And yeah, I mean, this was a decades long saga. I mean, just now people are finally getting paid back. They found 200,000 Bitcoin of those, and people are finally getting some money back. But of course, I mean, this was epic. Like Roger Ver was a part of this. This was really put a stain on the industry. And I think a lot of people at the time who were in Bitcoin, I was not in Bitcoin at the time, but people who were, this was a possible death moment, right? They're no matter what's happening right now, we know Bitcoin's not going to die. This is nowhere near that, but it flash crashed to like a penny during all this, right? So, I mean, with that much at stake, I have to take Mt. Gox off the list. Absolutely. All right, Avi, you're up.
That's a solid pick. This was it was a hack, right?
Yes, they had bad security on the back end, and they got hacked. Yeah, and they kept it hidden. They kept it hidden for a while. That was another thing, is that they knew those coins were gone, but they didn't let up for it for a while.
Well, another company that kept things hidden, and probably the most well-known, I got to take. I mean, I'm surprised no one took FTX, so I'm going to go with FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried was the perfect villain. You know, he looks like the art student, that the mastermind that just came in, and he seemed so innocent when he was on a lot of different podcasts, but there was always something a little bit sketchy. I even remember back in the day when this first was blowing up, I was like, how does a company come out of nowhere to be so big? And no one was able to take down Tom Brady until it was Sam Bankman-Fried. So I think I took some notes here. I didn't think they'd be available, but they peaked at a $32 billion valuation. They went down in an $8 billion hole in customer funds. For those that weren't familiar with it, Alameda was their prop trading firm, and so they were washing money like back and forth. I'm sure you guys could add some color there as well, but I don't think there was a bigger story in the media. I mean, you saw Sam Bankman-Fried's face kind of all over. Caroline's face was all over. There was memes being sent all over, and this was kind of after Bitcoin finally made its mark. And so people that were just on the street that weren't like the early cypherpunks of Bitcoin, they had some Bitcoin on their. I can't speak today. They had Bitcoin, obviously, and what happened was ultimately it was just a massive, massive blow up. And so, still to this day, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's making some noise, and he's like, "Hey, we were still wrongly accused," and so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But that was a pretty big, mark, I'd say, in Bitcoin history.
Yeah.
Feel free to add to that, because I know you guys know way more than I do on this.
Kevin, go.
Well, I mean, again, it's the high risk trading, right? So you have a pool of money sitting there, you can do something with it and earn returns. Might as well do it. It seems pretty innocent at the time. And, Peter did a good podcast with Nick Leasing from Barings Bank. And he, had a kind of a pre-crypto, took a whole bank down doing essentially the same thing with poor internal controls. And you can imagine what the controls were at FTX, when that happened.
Yeah, the thing about FTX is that people really liked the platform. Like, it was a leading platform for traders. Like, crypto people really were into it. As a Bitcoiner, you have many other options. You don't need to deal with the shitcoin casino like an FTX, but people really liked it. And so a lot of funds were coming in. They were a real threat to Coinbase for being like the platform in America. They had stadiums in Miami named after them. They had that polycule down in the Bahamas where they're all living in an apartment together and taking like Adderall and crazy meth drugs and trading like crazy. But they also made some insane investments too. Like, they were early on Anthropic, right? They're like a seed investor for Anthropic and would have made tens of billions of dollars if they hadn't blown up, right? And I think that's where Sam Bankman-Fried is so mad, is like, if these darn kids didn't take me down, if CZ didn't call me out, I would be the king of crypto in America. Because he was getting private meetings with Gary Gensler. I mean, this guy, he was sitting on stage with Bill Clinton and Tony Blair and Giselle, and he is probably the reason that Tom Brady got divorced from Giselle, right? And blew up his quote unquote perfect life. So, I mean, this guy left a wake of destruction. That's a huge hole that took a year plus for the crypto industry to drag itself out of. And I mean, and I think we're still stained as an industry because of him and what he's done. And now they're trying to do this whitewashing campaign where there was an article on X by a big conservative commentator saying that all these other people have gotten pardoned. Why can't SBF get pardoned, right? Bunch of crap. Let him sit in jail. This dude took customer money, invested it, and got blown up. Like, you're not allowed to do that, especially when it's on the magnitude of billions of dollars. You destroyed some people's lives. You need to face the consequences. And all the other people on his team, they got off scot-free, right? I mean, Caroline's not in prison, but he is. And I think she had almost just as much, if not more, to do with it than him. So, I mean, it's a crazy web that they weave. But here we are. Hopefully FTX is behind us, but Sam Bankman-Fried is still lingering in the background.
Yeah. Are we doing the snake draft?
We're doing a snake. Yeah, you picked
the
snake draft.
Oh, I was ready to go, I guess.
Oh, you're ready? Okay, then give it back to Kevin.
No,
Go ahead,
go ahead.
Kev.
Go, Avi. Go, Avi.
All right, I'll go. This one was close to home. I had used to work with Prime Trust, and they were working very closely with Terra Luna. And so all I heard about when I first joined the company was, you got to get in Luna, And that was insane because it felt too good to be true. I actually never put $1 in because I was like, this just seems sketchy. Why are they getting like 20, 30%, on UST? And they climbed into like the top 3, I believe, stable coins, right? And so they had like, obviously USDT, USDC, and then UST. I think they had like an $18 billion market cap. And Luna had like $40 billion worth at one point. So that was absolutely crazy destruction. That was, that kind of toppled. I think it was like the reason 3 Arrows went down. Celsius and Voyager, BlockFi, all those were essentially connected to that contagion. It was just the first time with like algorithmic stable coins as well. So clearly that didn't work. It was depegging constantly, and then it finally nuked. And it was one of the craziest things I remember being a part of. Just, and to your point, Kevin, like a lot of people truly lost a lot of money. And so it's you kind of can smile about it in hindsight, but at the time it was not funny for a lot of people. And so horrible what happened.
I think the other thing this one highlights for me is really the interconnectedness of everything, right? Because a lot of it went through 3 Arrows. There was money invested, and it's kind of this single point of failure. Everybody is, we can get, 20, 30% on our crypto. This is awesome, right? Like, no thought to how that might be.
Yeah, how you get that.
or other things. But yeah, I mean, clearly when that's happening, it's a house of cards and it's going to collapse. So yeah, the interconnect, like, I'll say this about the interconnectedness. The banking sector is based on the kind of the exact same idea. And, when those companies collapse, it's just a bailout from the public of the banking institution because it's for the stability of the system. And, all in some ways what this was banking, right? But without a banking license.
Yeah, the whole algorithmic stablecoin, right? I mean, you build these Rube Goldberg machines and you expect that billions of dollars to rest on their shoulders safely, and it just all falls apart, right? that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's simple, you know, compared to these crazy machinations of some of these altcoins. And I mean, you got to talk about the actors here, right? I mean, Novogratz got the tattoo. He got the Luna tattoo, right? I mean, he had a giant wolf on his arm. That cursed image will go down in crypto history for sure. So that's one casualty of it. And I mean, some of the quotes from Kwon from his heyday we still use, right? Steady lads, deploying more capital. I don't debate the poor on Twitter. I mean, this guy was just like hitting it out of the park with these one-liners. But yes, I mean,
I had to pull it up.
Yeah, man, that is what's the wreckage that is left of billions of dollars lost. But also we have these one-liners, right? And so he was on the run too, and they nabbed him. They nabbed him in Montenegro, and I think it's still up in the air whether he will be extradited to America or not.
You don't think he'll get the CZ treatment?
No, he's not that politically connected. No, it was a one-man show who made billions, lost billions, and now they need to put somebody on the pike, right? And so I think he's probably going to get that. All right, I'm next. So I'll take it back an era, and I'm gonna go OneCoin, baby. BitConnect. What's up? If you know the meme, you know what I'm talking about. So this woman, Ruja Ignatova, she got people to invest. So from 2014 to 2017, this Bulgaria-based scam conned over $4 billion from millions of investors worldwide. They touted OneCoin as the Bitcoin killer to lure in victims through multi-level marketing. So, I mean, they had the conferences, of course. This woman, she made herself out to be this brilliant mastermind, this one who would topple Bitcoin, and she got $4 billion out of it, and then she disappeared. She boarded a flight to Greece and was never seen again, right as U.S. authorities filed charges. She remains a fugitive on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. That's pretty amazing. And the FBI is offering $250,000 for info leading to her arrest. And yeah, I mean, it left a wake of destruction, and you can tell how powerful these things are by the memes that are left years later. People who were not in crypto at the time, they still know that guy on stage. Go, what's up? So that's my pick.
I love it.
Quick pause too. Actually, you do your pick, and then we'll explain the show again, since I saw there's several hundred more people have joined. All
right. So I have the next pick. I'm going to go local. So this is a Canadian company. So I'm Canadian originally, not there now. But Quadriga, in 2017, they had 76,000 clients and $215 million of assets. This one was so good that they made a Netflix series about it. And so, again, founder mysteriously disappears and supposedly dies. Kind of the only thing separating this from a true Ponzi, from like literally getting money in and just paying people who were asking for money out, is that they did have some Bitcoin. It's interesting, in one of the stories, I think the recovery was about a quarter of the total amount that was lost, and that's the same here. So now I'm going to do a rant on exchanges. So again, having traded foreign exchange and worked in foreign exchange sales my whole life, there's two ways exchanges make money. One is by taking risk. They can take a position and shit Fartcoin or whatever they want to do. Or they can cross the spread. And so that's a volume business. You want to cross as much spread as possible. And I was shocked. I worked for a company once, and we were onboarding a bunch of kind of retail foreign exchange businesses. And so I'll date myself, but this goes back before cryptocurrencies. People used to just trade currencies online, right? And they'd take leveraged positions. And it was kind of a non-deliverable contract. You would be putting your US dollars in the account leveraging it to trade whatever currencies you wanted. And ultimately, you could only get US dollars out of your account. And I can remember having meetings with broker dealers who, the way their business was set up, they just took the other side of the client's position. They never bought, and because they knew the client had to, if the client was long euros, the client needed to sell euros at a certain point, and they knew, like, the entire business model is based on knowing that your clients are going to be wrong. And so that's kind of one thing. And I'll just throw this question out to you guys, because I've done this. I've tried to find this information. When you go to your exchange and you buy Bitcoin, right? You send them your money. Like, at what point is the Bitcoin actually purchased is my question. And it kind of brings up this idea of paper Bitcoin.
Yep.
And, there's a lot of possibilities for these things. I'm not saying it's happening, but, it leads to all kinds of crazy issues. But the Netflix movie on Quadriga is pretty good. I highly recommend it if you have some time this weekend.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, it's interesting too. I was just gonna say too, like going back to FTX. I mean, that's like the different prices too that you'll see, right? Because they all say like maybe no trading fees, but then at the end of the day, you're getting different prices, and they're just taking basis points on the back end, right? So that's what is the truth of where actual Bitcoin's at, right? So
I mean, I would think that you kind of, as a client, you want, if you're not paying for the trading, right? Like, how do you think that they're making money? It's you kind of want them to be making some money, I would think, but maybe not.
Yeah. Speaking of making money, let's just take a quick pause here. And we are doing the Friday Stack giveaway. So 210,000 sats going off of the 21,000 sats last week or 2 weeks ago. But this week we're moving up, and I think every single week we're going to continue to move up. The more people we get in here, the bigger sponsors we'll get, the more money we can give away. So it's all fun here. But go to 21rates.com. Let me actually share my screen so people can see what to do. You go to 21rates.com/stack. You'll come to a screen like this. If you're not logged in, make sure you just log in quickly. And then at the end here, you guys may know the answers already to some of these, but we'll do a quick trivia. We'll have Kevin talk a little bit more about his company and then do a trivia on that. And then the winners, we will do a random drawing of who got 3 out of 3 correct. And then one winner will get 210,000 sats. So, Rob, take us away again.
Well, actually, I mean, I got a little bit on the Quadriga. I mean, the founder allegedly he allegedly went to India and then died of Crohn's disease mysteriously and was never heard of again, right? But then when they did the forensics, it turns out that and then they couldn't, quote unquote, access the Bitcoin in the exchange because he was dead. But when they did the forensics, they saw that Bitcoin was being siphoned out of the exchange before he actually, quote unquote, passed away. So is he on a beach right now? Living?
It's not, it would be really hard to fake a death certificate, right?
I mean, in India, I don't know.
If you had a couple $100 million, it would be.
Yeah, seriously, right?
It would be a tricky thing.
Just go on ChatGPT, you make one, Kevin, you're running it back. So
yeah,
I get to go again. Okay, so this one's kind of new to me, and I don't know if we're going by dollar amount or total coins or what the criteria is, but so I live in a place in Costa Rica called Playa Hermosa. It's a big surfing beach. And Francis from Bowl told me about this. There was a company called MPEX, which was the world's first Bitcoin-denominated securities exchange. And it was run by a very colorful man. And one day he drowned in the beach. And so there was a crisis, and I've seen different numbers. At some point, he claimed he had 1 million Bitcoin. I don't think he had 1 million Bitcoin, but the numbers seem to be between 5,000 and 1 million, most between 30 and 50,000 coins lost, where he was the sole custodian and drowned. So a combination of his personal funds and client money.
Brutal. What year was this that this happened?
2021
2021.
was the drowning, but this was OG, like original
Yeah.
exchange. And he was apparently a very colorful character.
Yeah, right. He was like an international man of mystery, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Some interesting blogs and other things. Keep it spicy. They should make a Netflix movie on that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the cast of characters, especially from the early days of Bitcoin, are just really out of this world. Hard to believe they're actually real people. But if it's my turn, I will go with another cast of extremely weird and crazy characters: Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan, aka Razzle Khan, who in August of 2016 hacked Bitfinex. They stole 119,756 Bitcoin, worth $72 million at the time. And Bitfinex took a interesting step to solve this problem. They actually spread the losses across all users' accounts and issued IOU tokens. But over time, they're able to pay back the users in full. And then in 2022, the U.S. authorities were able to catch Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein and get back 94,000 Bitcoin, which now represents someone you could say either a half or a third of the quote unquote strategic Bitcoin reserve that America has. Are they going to give those coins back to Bitfinex? That's still up in the air. I mean, it's very clear that they were stolen from Bitfinex and that the American government was able to seize them back. And they have said part of the strategic Bitcoin reserve executive order says that if there is a lawful connection to the people who are stolen from, they need to be returned. So, I mean, is America willing to give up half of its stack back to the people who got stolen from? Good question. But of course, you got to look at the people who stole it. Ilya Lichtenstein, he was the nerd, and he had this girlfriend who was just out of her mind. She thought she was going to be a rapper. She has all these videos of her like doing these gross dance moves across New York City, calling herself Razzle Khan, extremely cringe. And yeah, she called herself the Crocodile of Wall Street, right? And another funny thing is that they were barely able to spend any of this Bitcoin, right? Because Bitfinex knows what the hell they're doing. They know that they were stolen from. They could like see what was going on with this Bitcoin. So they're able to launder, I think, like maybe a million, a couple million, maybe at most. And they treated him for gift cards and whatnot. So they weren't able to live like 100 millionaires, centimillionaires like they wanted to, thinking that they were the crocodiles of Wall Street. But we did get some pretty amazing cringy rap videos out of it all.
I'm getting some big names here. Oh, we got Borja.
What's up? What's
To the
up?
stage. What's up,
Borja.
Borja? I don't know if you've been watching live. We're doing a fantasy football style draft here for the Mount Rushmore of biggest crypto.
Oh man,
blowout.
this looks so. Wait, MPEX, guys. I love MPEX. Like
Let's hear more of the story then.
Yeah.
And he freezes.
Do we freeze them?
To add to the mystery.
We're in the edge of our
You
seats.
say the word three
Wait,
times.
wait,
You're
wait.
off. There he goes. He's back.
there, my internet is a little bit frothy today, but like no, I was saying that MPEX has been a great inspiration for us at Roxom for all of what they were doing. Bitcoin capital markets, they were doing IPOs back in the day, Bitcoin companies. Then we can argue like the quality of these companies and so on, but these guys saw the future like 14 years ago, and they already created what we're bringing back, which is again Bitcoin markets, Bitcoin capital markets, Bitcoin IPOs. They were even Bitcoin bonds. There were even depository receipts within like the different platforms, because you had MPEX and a few competitors. Not awesome times. But why is MPEX next to Celsius or Quadriga, guys?
Well, my understanding, and I could be wrong, was that there was an issue in 2021 where the founder drowned, and
Yeah.
he was kind of a sole point of custody for the keys. And so I think that was an issue for him
Yeah.
and clients.
No, so MPEX got like shut down in 2013, 2012. There was no problem there. It was a graceful shutdown, but it is true that in 20 drowned under very weird conditions. And actually, I don't know if you guys know the following. Mircea Popescu, do you know like how Ethereum was hacked and Ethereum Classic and Ethereum were born and so on? Well, the hacker was Mircea Popescu, and he was public about this. Like he actually posted on his Trilemma blog. Not many people know this, but this was all public. We like long dated Bitcoiners, we know this very well. But Mircea was a hacker of the DAO. And number two, Mircea Popescu is the only person in the planet with a name and a last name to have more than 1 million Bitcoin. So when Mircea Popescu died, we also lost 1 million BTC, which will probably one day appear again with quantum computing, maybe in 30 years or something. But as of today, there's 1 million Bitcoin dead. They are Mircea's Bitcoin. And yeah.
So yeah, we always say
the
21.
stories are great. Like I'm glad you were able to join and kind of add color to this, because I live in Playa Hermosa where he died, and there's kind of 2 newspaper articles that say died under mysterious circumstances.
Yep.
Like people do die here all the time, so it's not unusual that people die. So in the beach.
For me, somebody with 1 million Bitcoin drowning is like.
He's freezing at the most. It's amazing time. We're on the edge of my seats. I want to know what it is.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm sorry. I told you it was.
It's the funniest timing every time too, though.
Like for me, guys, like a person with 1 million Bitcoin, that like drowning is like the most nonsense story ever. Like clearly mysterious conditions, because like come on, really, man, you have like 1 million Bitcoin, and it wasn't a stormy day or anything. It was just normal day in the beach. Apparently, out of nowhere, like, oh, Mircea is dead. Like in a sunny day, no waves, no nothing, just died. Like very weird, very strange.
Very crazy. Well, I'm gonna go next year. I'm getting all these big names, but I'm gonna go with BlockFi. So they kind of were like one of the quote clean professional crypto banks, right? They had, I think, $10 billion or so under assets. But they were just like a leveraged lender at the end of the day. And when Three Arrows Capital went down, I think they had like I'm reading $680 million loan, right? And then survived only because FTX stepped in with a $400 million revolving credit line. So they were an absolute massive blow up. Another one that was showing that interconnectivity with Three Arrow Capital. Alameda was involved as well. There was like 100,000 creditors, between $1 and $10 billion. So this is now like one of the bigger ones where just because you paint a pig doesn't make them, a pretty thing. So it's one of those that looked clean at the surface, but once you lift under the hood, it is still as messy as a lot of these companies. So, Borja, I feel like you have some to add to BlockFi here.
Oh man, like, I mean, like we could do like we could paint a city with names like this, man.
Yeah.
What can we say?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, well, but Bitfinex made their users whole, eh?
They did. But I mean,
Yeah.
they were also stolen of 119,000 Bitcoin, and 94,000 of those are still with the U.S. government. So I mean, it's a big story.
Yeah, true. Well, guys, we had the Bybit hack this year, $4 billion.
Bybit hack. We had that's another big one.
You want to?
Wait, I gotta save them for later.
Oh, okay, yes.
Binance was hacked Binance became Binance because of the hack. Also, for my opinion. Like in 2017, when Binance got hacked for $15 million and they covered all the user losses, and then everybody said like, "Oh my God, these guys are super mega legit. They just reimbursed everybody," and then they like immediately they became number one. I'm a big believer that these catastrophic events, you either if you can answer, you will become like the market leader because people will say like, "Oh my God, these guys are number one." Or it will destroy you. Like,
yeah.
Do you think we ever get like a backstop or no? Like, God forbid, Coinbase goes down. Do you think the government steps in for that or no?
How do you recover the coins?
Right.
Like.
What about if the banks fail? The government's going to cover that.
Yeah, but if the banks
already
fail,
have.
like US dollar, just print. Just
Yeah,
like,
hit the burr sign. Why don't we give you? I'll give you my celebrity pick if you want to go, Borja, and add one to under BlockFi for your favorite crypto blow up.
well, it's very easy. SBF, but you have it
I
upstairs.
You
already-
have
I
it
already
already.
did
Yeah,
that.
I have it.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
We did this on the fly, so if you're not ready,
I'm not ready. I would have to think.
All right.
All right, then go, Avi.
I'll go with Genesis. So prime broker, crypto lending again for funds, miners, and corporations. Very similar. You know, they look like a big company for anyone just kind of looking at from the outside. But their business model was basically borrow cheap paper money from institutions and retail, lend to hedge funds, and then trading shops for a higher yield. And again, with Three Arrows Capital, it kind of took a lot of shit down, right? And so, again, Three Arrows Capital defaulted on those loans. They limped through. FTX collapse happened. They ended up halting withdrawals, going to restructuring, locked up billions in funds. Tons of family offices, funds got hurt, individuals, Gemini Earn users even. And this was back, I believe, in 2022. So I'm sure you guys have some additional shit to add there, but that was another one that popped up on my radar here.
It's the same centralization issue over and over and over and over again, right? Like, and the interconnectedness of the centralized system. It's just one single point of failure. Like, it was, Three Arrows took down half this board.
Yeah, seriously. And it's the lending thing too, right? I mean, it's centralization plus lending leads to scary situations, especially when price goes down.
The lending, like the entire world of banking is based on this fractional reserve concept where, you can create money and maintain this small reserve, and it works very well as long as nobody asks for their money back all at once, or you don't have this massive liquidity event where you need to fill a hole. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like, there was a lot of respect for client funds and other things. And, again, this sent me down a path where when I was asked by custodians to send my Bitcoin for a loan, I was like, wait a second, this is programmable money. We need to be able to do things in a peer-to-peer way. And so I'll do the blurb on the company later, but it's all centralization. Like, we fix everything by decentralizing the system.
Yes.
That is the solution. And, regulators will come in and say, oh, well, what we need is qualified custodians. Well, no. You're just adding a bigger honeypot.
You can still have problems in DeFi though. What we've just especially, but in DeFi it becomes like a collateral thing. Like, picture back when Terra Luna fell, like all the loans and all the vaults that were stablecoin vaults were UST were part of the vaults and so on, and then like you have like domino effect.
But it's all centralized. Like, those issues, like a lot of the DeFi stuff, when you're adding bridges, you're adding a token, you're adding a vault, some liquidity pool. It's a whole level of risk that is kind of unquantifiable, and it's not Bitcoin anymore, right? So let's just say what it is. You're off in some, side chain doing something else. You're not dealing in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And the custody thing, the custody business is interesting to me, but it's really a traditional banking business where it's just a spread lending. They're getting capital from these pools of capital and lending it out to other to people who want to borrow against their Bitcoin and making a spread. And the risk is that it's, kind of too expensive to do paperwork, or that you can't liquidate your clients fast enough with that business. But it's just a TradFi business built on Bitcoin. And, I think we'll see going forward, there's going to be a lot of innovation in this space because, as Satoshi said, the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is required. That is the entire point of Bitcoin, right? You can avoid all this, all of it, if you just maintain custody of your coins. And so, we have solutions to allow that now.
So, Kevin, real quick question on that. Do you think as Bitcoin becomes more centralized, which has been happening with the institutions, you think we're going to see more and more of these blowups? Or do you think because the adults are in the room, they're tightening things up now?
Do you feel like the adults are in the room, Avi? For me, this is as an investor in Bitcoin, this is the biggest risk, right? If some huge custodian doesn't have, 1 million coins, kind of like Mt. Gox or, like these other issues. And it's, there's so many risks. It's, Jeremy in operations had a bad day. The government seizes your account. It's, some type of mismanagement, key errors. They're trading your funds on the side. Like, pick your poison, because, the objective of the companies who has your Bitcoin is to make more money, right? And not necessarily protect your Bitcoin. And so, there's rules and regulations, but it seems like, in a lot of these cases, people have gone around them. And it's just totally unnecessary. And so I do think they'll continue to happen. And when people say, is Bitcoin going to fall 80% again? When something like this happens again, that's what's going to happen. And because it takes the integrity of the entire ecosystem and makes people question, and has your people who are outside the Bitcoin ecosystem pointing at it and saying, see, it's a scam. See, it's a scam the whole time. That's what I think.
No, I agree. I mean, it seems as if we repeat the same mistakes every 4 years or so. There's new people who come in, they get caught up in the same old desires to have crazy APY and whatnot, but then it blows up. And then we have shows like today to try to warn people to just get your Bitcoin in cold storage and sit and wait, and it'll be great.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. I mean, if everybody suddenly moved their Bitcoins to cold storage, you'd see pretty quickly who, was swimming naked, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the other interesting thing to me about Quadriga is, we're seeing action now where price is under pressure, but with Quadriga, they were taking the other side of their clients' trade. So their clients came to them to buy Bitcoin, right? And they just didn't buy the Bitcoin. So they were short Bitcoin. Their clients thought they were long Bitcoin. And it only blows up when price rockets higher. That's when everybody gets screwed, right? You realize they didn't have the Bitcoin to begin with. And so, the extreme volatility is what brings these things out. But they're there the whole time.
Yeah.
They're just hiding.
Yeah. And we'll see which bodies rise to the top right now, because I think there's something broke on 1010, and we're just living with the ramifications of it right now. But we still don't know who that big market maker or exchange or pod shop is that really did get beaten up on that day. So we'll see. All right, my turn. And I'm going to make it a little personal. I mean, if I wanted to be cheeky, I would say Naka. But they haven't completely blown up yet, right? They're still alive, even though their stock went from $32 down to 50 cents. And it just came out last night that their team is making $6 million in salary while they are posting an $82 million loss, and all these crazy numbers. But they're still alive, so they're not an official blow up yet. Who did blow up? I'm going to go with Prime Trust. The one, the only, the guys who in the last cycle in 2021, they were providing custody for some of the biggest players, right? Swan, Prime Trust. They were like one of the same. I mean, in terms of the marketing and everything. But they were a regulated trust company. Their one job was to stay in charge of people's crypto, to custody it. And then one day they realized, oh, we've got a whole bunch of ETH that is just missing, right? And by 2023, it was clear they were deeply insolvent, owing $85 million in cash to clients while holding only $3 million. So, I mean, again, decentralization. Prime Trust provided custody for a lot of the biggest players, and then they misplaced one key. They tried to make up for it on the back end. They lied to a bunch of people saying they were solvent while they knew that they weren't. And it just essentially turned into a Ponzi, a fully regulated trust company Ponzi. But Bitcoin, again, survived that. I know some people here might have some more color on that situation. If anybody,
I wonder how much I can say, but I was going to just add that even the employees did not know. Many of the employees found out through a Mario Norwell Twitter Spaces, and that it was like baffling to all the employees. So it was a crazy time for sure. I don't want to probably get myself in trouble saying things that I shouldn't, but we truly didn't know. Like, there wasn't much that is out there today. Like, I've talked to people that out there that know way more than I do about the situation, but kind of a blessing that we weren't involved, but it was pretty crazy. I mean, the founders kept that secret from the entire team, and one day just came in and were like, hey, you guys may have heard these rumors, but this is true. So we got all rug pulled internally, and it was absolutely bullshit. There were signs in hindsight looking back, but it was crazy. One state at a time you couldn't work with, and they wouldn't tell you why, so I'll
So you were working there, Avi?
I was, yeah. So this happened actually prior to me
Insane.
even starting. So my hands are very clean there. But I was on sales team, so I didn't have any purview to what was going on until literally the day.
That was the story. One day they came and they said like, "Hey guys, like we are underwater."
I saw Twitter Spaces called Prime Trust, and I'm like, I should probably check this out and listen. And it was Mario Norwell. I still remember, and I was like, they know a lot about the company, so I brought it back, and they kind of were like, their hands were clean, and 2 days later they brought us in an all hands on meeting, let us know. So it was pretty crazy, very very surreal. It was my wife loved it because she told me don't go into a crypto company. They're all shady, and I was like, this one seems legit. They raised all this money, and so it's a shame. All the employees.
But what happened? It was just like, don't come into work, Avi? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, they played by the rules there, where we couldn't touch anything for 2 months at the very end when they finally told us. And so we tried to get out. That's how we started this, me and Jody. We're like, fuck this. We need to bring transparency to the space. And that's why we brought, like, the ideation really behind 21 rates was like, hey, we need to, like, make sure that people are aware, people can rate, review, and have real users and be like a website for the people where things are going, and so, yeah, it was a very crazy time, to say the least. And Rob, you're right. Like, we were handling big names, at the time, Binance US, Swan, a lot of companies had to move over, and for everyone on the sales team, we were blind to the fact, and so it was horrible that they had us going out there, continuing with the knowledge that they knew. So, some definitely bad actors. I don't have a problem, sharing what I know, but again, it's one of those things where still I talk to people that know way more than I do, which is hilarious for us working there. So, not good. I want to clear my name of everything Prime Trust, but I just went on a tangent for you, Rob. You got some hot takes.
Thank you. Yes,
That's a wild story.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, guys,
crazy.
I'm sorry. I gotta run, but this was very fun. Do you do
Cool,
this
man.
every Friday?
Yeah, every Friday, man. Come on. We always want friends of the pod on.
Okay.
Next Friday, we're going to do a predictions market for the next one to fail.
Yeah.
More interesting.
Oh man, fuck. That is
We'll be
terrible.
probably
That
eating
is
turkey.
terrible.
We'll see if we'll do one on Friday after Thanksgiving, but we'll have to
Oh,
decide
shit,
on
man.
that.
I will not vote on that. I will see it. Because
Anyway.
the thing
He was about to tell us who Satoshi
Yeah,
was
okay.
too.
but there are some, well, maybe the BlockFi guys and the Bitfinex guys got hacked, and the Mt. Gox definitely got hacked. Like the Quadriga guy, man, and Sam is like, he was stealing people's money, man. Like, you're a motherfucker. But then, like, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I will not put my hands on the fire for anybody, but I just believe that some were legitimately or legitimate, or whatever you said, hacked.
Legitimately hacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hacked, and others were straight up thieves. Like SBF, straight up thief. Like, dude, like you're getting customers' money, you're sending it somewhere else. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly, this is theft. Uh, but yeah, some others I don't know they are. To be honest, that is a terrible list.
Yeah.
Except for MPEX, I want to clean Mircea's name. Poor MPEX, they
It was
don't
just a
deserve being
single
there.
point of failure because it was
Yes.
close.
No, no problem. No
Respect for the
problem.
business for sure.
Yes.
But actually, look, I'm gonna share then with you, Rob, a blog that you guys find very, very interesting, which is Mircea's blog. And there you have the whole story of MPEX and so on. And actually, Mircea lived in Argentina for a couple of years because he liked little city in Argentina. The guy had like 1 million BTC and he lived like in this kind of shanty town, like no sense.
That's
But
wild.
anyways, guys, pleasure. Thank you for having me, and
Cheers.
pleasure to meet you, and see you soon.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Have a good
coming.
weekend.
You too, guys. Bye bye.
Rounding the bases, Kev. You get the
So I
last.
get one more.
One more.
And so I want to go kind of off to the side here a little bit, because often we're talking about financial audits of public Bitcoin companies, and I'm old enough to remember Enron, which was a public company that was well audited.
Mhm.
They ended up, I guess, helping the accountants out to kind of look the other way with a few things, but that's kind of human nature, and those things could maybe still happen. So I'll just point that out. Madoff was the head of, was it the NASDAQ or the, anyway. But I want to go back to Canada in 1993. So I'm predating cryptocurrencies. There was a junior mining company called BreX that discovered the world's largest deposit of gold, 200 million ounces in Indonesia. And the stock went from like 20 cents to $300. People got super rich. At the time, and this is in the 90s, it was a $6 billion market cap, which is like, I don't know, 60 or 600 billion in today's Canadian dollars. And, within 6 days of the chief geologist falling out of a helicopter, the stock was basically zero. And what they were doing was they would get these samples from the ground and they would add gold to them. So it was called salting the samples. And so it made it look like they had this absurd amount of gold. Turns out, no gold ever mined.
Wow.
Some bad people in the world.
Old school mining. Yes. My goodness.
Old-
But did the guy actually get thrown out of a helicopter?
He died falling out of a helicopter. I
Oh
wasn't
my
there.
goodness.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
A lot of weird
man.
deaths around this.
Yeah, like when you're dealing with this level of money, people go to extremes and people meet extreme ends. And it's a good lesson to keep your hands clean, folks, and just stack Bitcoin and be patient.
Yeah.
Cool. So wrapping this up here, this is why many people have probably joined the show to do the giveaway. So again, for those, let me just share my screen one more time. If you guys are listening, you want to win 210,000 Satoshis. Go to 21 rates. Jody just put on the screen. That may be easier for people that go on the QR code, brings you right there. But if you're old school, want to type it in, it's 21rates.com/stack. We have 3 trivia questions. So we're going to go through a quick interview, have Kevin share a little bit more about Cadena Bitcoin, and then the trivia will be around Cadena, and then everyone can have a chance to win. So please do go to 21rates.com/stack or hit that QR code in the left corner. And make sure you guys sign up. We're going to extend it, I think, about 20 or 30 minutes since we did go long here today. But as we get that fired up here for a second, Rob, Kevin, crazy day, obviously, with the markets. Any other big news stories to as people start to put in their entries that we didn't touch on that we should?
Yeah, I think one thing we can do quickly is Bitcoiner of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Bitcoiner
let's
of
do
the
that.
week,
Can I go first?
please.
Yes, please.
Bukele, hands down, bought $100 million worth of Bitcoin this week. Underwater slightly now, we'll say, but I think it's a long-term play. And I was in El Salvador last week, Bitcoin Historical Conference and Adopting Bitcoin. It is, there's a lot going on there, and it's so great now. Like, I think all of us individually can look at Bitcoin and say, this has been a wonderful experience for me. You can look at treasury companies, maybe not this week or this month, but generally it's been, a positive experience for the companies that have adopted Bitcoin. And the countries that have adopted Bitcoin are winning bigly here. And hats off to this guy. This is genius. Turns out if you just embrace freedom, you can attract a number of people who want to build. And it's really incredible what he's done there and what he's continuing to do.
Had you been to El Salvador before this month?
I had gone in June. So my company's based in El Salvador. We had to go and incorporate the company physically. So I'd gone. And between June and now, I can see growth, and I think just being around Bitcoin conference this time gave it that vibe where everyone's, super excited and positive and building. So yeah, it's great. That wasn't the environment I was in Canada. Just that, right?
No, having spent time in China in the early 2010s and then experiencing El Salvador the last 2 years, you can feel it when a country is on the economic up, right? When that swing is in motion and there's cranes in the air and there's tourists coming in and there's smiles on the streets and people are just generally happier when they feel like the future is bright. And you can feel that in El Salvador right now. And what they've done is absolutely amazing, going from the homicide capital of the world to the least homicides in the Western Hemisphere, right? Absolutely amazing what they've done in terms of just public safety. I was walking around on the street late at night, 10, 11 p.m. with my cell phone out, absolutely no fears. And it's just completely changed. And even like they have this brand new market, this big facility they built in San Salvador. People close down their shops and leave it unlocked, right? I mean, that was absolutely unheard of just in a matter of years ago. So yeah, I agree. El Salvador is an amazing place. They did some very, very cool things this month, of course, with Bitcoin Month, Bitcoin Historico, adopting Bitcoin. Bitcoin Beach had a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, highly recommend everybody to go check it out and see Bitcoin Country for themselves.
I'm going to give a quick Bitcoiner of the week to our friend Natalie Brunell. Community is such a big piece to me of Bitcoin. I think when I go to those conferences, you feel like you're surrounded by like-minded individuals, and ultimately Bitcoin is for everyone. It feels like one of those truths. I always say, like, that's my word of like what Bitcoin is, and people that are searching for the truth, people that are ultimately not accepting status quo. They ask questions. They're curious. That's who Bitcoin is for. And Natalie, we just had on the podcast last week or the week before. And she just had her book release as well. So if anyone needs to get orange pilled, Bitcoin is for everyone with Natalie Brunell. She's going to be my Bitcoiner of the week this week as well.
Good call.
Nice.
All right. Let me double check here. So if we are good, if talk one more, Rob, give one more news clip here real quick. Let me just make sure we're all set.
I'll give my Bitcoiner of the week. You just stomped all over mine.
Shit, I thought you went. My bad.
No, I didn't go. No. Yes. So my Bitcoiner of the week. Can you share my screen real quick?
Yes.
So yes, so PubKey has become sort of like the mecca of Bitcoin on the East Coast here in the U.S. Amazing bar in like close to Washington Square Park in Manhattan. They just opened up their sister location in Washington, D.C. And I want to give Bitcoiner of the Week to this man right here, Treasury of the Secretary, Mr. Scott Bessent. He gave a shout out to Bitcoin on White Paper Day on Halloween. He was touting Bitcoin's resilience and its ability to stay up these last 16 years. And he was saying, unlike the Democrats who keep the government shut down. But yeah, this guy is definitely sees Bitcoin as a part of America's financial future. He shows up at the opening of PubKey in Washington, D.C. I think this is signal. There's a lot of noise out there, but the fact that the sitting Treasury Secretary of the United States goes to an opening of a Bitcoin bar in Washington, D.C. last night, that's some pretty strong signal. So shout out to Scott Bessent, also for being a true blood American. This man's family came to America in the 1700s. They've been based in South Carolina since the 1790s or so. They helped build a church there, which he still attends to this day. So I think he's like close to 10 generations deep in America, right? Pretty amazing stuff. And he's my Bitcoiner of the week.
All righty. It's time to do the most important part of the show. Bringing on Kevin again here to talk quickly about Cadena. And make sure you guys pay attention, because in his commentary will be one of the answers to the questions. And again, if you're just joining, go to 21rates.com/stack. Make sure you sign up. You can just do it with your email, so you don't necessarily need a Lightning wallet. Just type in your email. If you guys are on Twitter, if you guys repost the tweet for this live event, we'll put a, you'll go on the drawing, and we'll do that drawing right after the show as well, and then announce the winner. So let's do it, Kevin. You did a quick intro earlier, but
yeah. So so Cadena Bitcoin is a registered Bitcoin service provider in El Salvador, and we build Bitcoin native financial services. Last month, we launched our first product, which is a borrowing and lending product. So this is one counterparty, one user is generating fiat yield. The other user, it's a peer-to-peer market, so this one side of the same coin, is taking that Bitcoin exposure. And so we do this with smart contracts entirely on the Bitcoin blockchain. Clients can sign up. It's a no KYC platform, so it's username, password, 12 words. And when your wallet is connected, then you're able to transact. The app allows you to sign these transactions. We get the signature information, know that you can sign the transactions. We never have your keys. And so we see this as something really important to promote Bitcoin self-sovereignty, and more importantly, to develop a Bitcoin ecosystem, Bitcoin credit markets, and a Bitcoin economy going forward. So early days, we're really excited. If anybody has any questions, cadenabitcoin.com. Follow me on Twitter at cadenabitcoin, and reach out if you have any questions. We're adding liquidity to the platform, so having a lot of those conversations now. And a lot of fun things coming in terms of, fiat on-ramps and off-ramps and stable coins, and ways to make it really apparent to people that, Bitcoin is better money. We can get a higher yield by investing in Bitcoin. And so, there's all kinds of opportunities to offer financial services to people who, have been shut out from banking globally, and bring the rest of the world along for the ride with Bitcoin.
Kevin, go ahead, Rob.
Is this available globally?
It's available globally. The app, so the signing app is not available in China, but it's available on the Apple Store. We've had issues. Google has temporarily suspended our account, but you can download the Android file directly from the website. And I think it's just administrative issues that sometimes you're dealing with AI, but yeah, it's available. And so the process to do a transaction is on the website. You execute the transaction, and then the details are sent to the app for signing. Once you sign the transaction, You're going to receive an email showing you the broadcast of the transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain. You can click on a block explorer and see it. And yeah. So yeah, the website and the app. And, you know, I think pretty quickly we'll get longer terms. We seem to have interest there, you know, and additional liquidity coming pretty quickly with some partners. So yeah, it was great being in El Salvador, seeing how we can connect some direct to consumer business, people who want to finance mining equipment, people, you know, who want to finance real estate. And the plan is to integrate this into exchanges and wallets and a number of other things.
Amazing. And Kevin, what would you say? We were talking this entire time, you know, about some of the craziness that does happen with lending, but what are some of like the main benefits of peer-to-peer money loss?
And so just to be totally clear, the problem we're trying to solve is the custody issue. And so with this setup, clients maintain full custody of their coins the entire process. We never have their coins. We never have their KYC. And frankly, I don't even want their KYC and driver's license and all that. It's, you know, we want to focus on making financial tools that are available to everybody in the world. And thankfully, El Salvador allows us to do that. And so we're super grateful to them.
So everyone check it out. It's Cadena, Cadena, Bitcoin.com.
And Cadena is the Spanish word for chain. And so I'll just roll on. One other thing I should point out, apart from the no counterparty risk, because the contracts are locked in smart contracts, there's no early liquidation, no margin calls. So this is something that maybe is important today. And again, the no KYC aspect is pretty nice in 2025.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, my question is the size of the loans. How small, how big can you get?
Yeah, and so we have 3 different sizes now, 1 Bitcoin and 0.1 Bitcoin and 0.01 Bitcoin. So it would be, you know, $100,000 at 50% loan to value, a $50,000-ish loan, a $5,000-ish loan. Mm-hmm. I'm still remembering last week, and you know, a $500 loan. And so full disclosure, we charge the borrower 0.5%. For that transaction, it gets added to the interest rate that they pay, and you know, everything is transparently broadcast on the Bitcoin blockchain. And we're happy to go, you know, answer any questions anybody has.
One question I'd have is for some of the people that are new to Bitcoin lending, right? What is the value of that? I think a lot of my friends
so
say, let's sell Bitcoin, and you're like, and I'm like, whoa, don't necessarily sell your Bitcoin.
Well, exactly. And so I'm so glad, Avi, you're bringing these things out. But you know, back in the day, you had a farm, and you could sell off a corner of your land to buy the seeds to plant, and then we had credit markets develop. And now you could borrow against your land in order to buy the seeds, to plant the crop, you know, to feed your family, feed the community, and other things. And it's really important to be able to, you know, have people who are willing to take these risks by, you know, borrowing. And there's people who are looking for income, and those people can connect and fund the Bitcoin economy. And so, you know, for us, that's really important. The advantage from a user's perspective, to be clear, is, you know, we spent the last hour and a bit talking about credit risk and how centralized exchanges and, you know, custodians can and often do disappear. Like when I go back and, you know, I send some charts to different people about the Bitcoin lending market over the last 5 years, peaked in 2012, and now 2022, and now we're just getting back to those levels because BlockFi and Voyager and Celsius, you know, come out of the data. And so, you know, I think we're just, you know, we're so early that I'm the guy who's just starting to develop decentralized financial services on Bitcoin. Like that's how early we are. And I would say with the custodial business, you know, it's, you you're not lending your Bitcoin to the U.S. Treasury, right? There's a real credit risk there. And, if $10 billion was lost, 3 years ago, how much of the lending market was that, and how big of a risk are you really taking? And the bottom line is you don't know. But the point is you don't have to take the risk because, Bitcoin's programmable money, and we can use smart contracts to transact in a peer-to-peer way.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So again, thanks. Over 3,000 people in the room right now, 3,100 plus. So we'll keep it open for another half an hour. Remember, if you want to win 210,000 Satoshis, go to 21rates.com/stack, or just put your camera up to that QR code on the top left-hand corner. That will bring you to a page. Type in your email. We'll take a look at that. If you are feeling lazy and you just want to comment underneath our tweet or under BitcoinNews.com's tweet, we will throw one in there, and if you are signed up, we'll throw two in there. So we'll do a randomized and then pick the winner here at the end. It is Friday for me. My brain is not functioning, Rob. So take us home. Make this clean up my mess here at the end.
No worries. I mean, this was a lot of fun. Kevin, thank you for coming on. I think you've got a very interesting and timely product. And the fact that we highlighted all these epic, historic blowups, and then you actually provide something that is a solution so that this would never happen again to the people who use Cadena Bitcoin. So very excited to see how your business grows over the coming years. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. That's what we want to do here on the Friday Stack. We want to bring the energy, bring the fun, have some different kinds of segments, things that you get to know and get used to and can count upon, that we're going to be here and bring you the entertainment that you want on your Friday lunch break. And of course, you can tune back into this at any time, whether on X or on YouTube, even on LinkedIn we are. So yes, we're all over the place. Very excited. Thank you so much for being our first guest here, Kevin. And that was an absolutely awesome time. And I am very thankful for this time together.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the time, guys. It was super nice to meet you, and I think it provides a nice service to remind Bitcoiners every now and then that these things do really happen.
Mm-hmm. And how can they follow you on Twitter at all or X?
Yeah, Cadena Bitcoin on Twitter, X, and CadenaBitcoin.com is the website. My contact details there. Kevin@CadenaBitcoin.com.
Amazing. Make sure to give BitcoinNews.com a follow, as well as 21 Rates HQ. As we mentioned, we'll be doing this every Friday. We'll pay attention to our tweets. We're still deciding if we're doing one for Thanksgiving, but definitely the week after. And yeah, keep stacking. Awesome. Enjoy the weekend.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.